Good morning, students. Today we are going to start the second poem, An Elementary School Classroom in Aslam by Stephen Spender. The important thing is when question is asked, write name of the poem and the poet. So let's see the title of the poem, An Elementary. Elementary means the primary school. Classroom. The place has been selected, classroom, in a slum. It has been selected from the rural area. So let's move to the poem. This poem starts with showing the picture of the classroom. There are total three stanzas in the poem. First is dealing with the children's, the situation of the children, how are the children, how they are feeling in the classroom. Second stanza deals with the condition of the classroom, how the classroom management has been done by the school. And third has been dealing with the attempts made by the government, made by the system to uphold the condition of the teaching learning process in the school. So let's move to the poem. Far, far from gusty waves, these children's faces, like rootless weeds, the hair torn around their pallor, the tall girl with her way down head, the paper seeming boy with rat's eyes, the stunted, unlucky hair of twisted bones, reciting a father's gnarled disease, his lessons from his desk at back of the dim class. One unnoted, sweet and young, his eyes live in a dream of a squirrel's game in the tree room other than this. Second stanza, on our sour cream wall. This emphasizes to the condition of the classroom. How is the classroom? On sour cream walls, donations Shakespeare's had, cloudless at dawn, civilized dome, riding all cities. Bellied flowers, Twilight Valley, open handed map, awarding the world its world, and yet for the children, these windows, not this world, are world, where all future painted with a fog, a narrow street, set in with a lead sky, far, far from rivers, capes, and stars of words. Third stanza deals with the attempts made by the society, attempts made by the system. Surely Shakespeare is weak, and the map a bad example, with ship and sun and love tempting them to steal. For lives that slyly turn in their cramped holes from fog to endless night, on their slag heap, the children wear skins peeped through by bones and spectacles of steel with mended glass like bottle bits on stones, all of their time and space for foggy slum. So blot their maps with slum as big as do. Unless governor, teachers, inspectors, visitors. This map becomes their window, and these windows that shut upon their lives like catacomb break, O break, open till they break the town, and show the children green fields and mark and make their world run azure on gold sands, and let their tongues run naked into books, the white and green leaves open. History is there, whose language is the sun. So this is the poem, and we will deal all the lines and stanzas one by one. General analysis of the poem, and this should be the strategy when we are dealing with the poem. We should also see in which circumstances the poem has been composed and which location has been depicted in the poem. Then we can better understand the poem. Let's see. Poem composed by Stephen Spender, and the poet has raised the political voice. Political voice means what is really done by the stakeholders, and ideological position on government, economic, and education has been highlighted and has been emphasized in this poem. When the question is asked, which three general points, issues have been raised in the poem, so these are the three issues: government, economics, and education. Now, next is the students in the classroom are unprivileged. Unprivileged means the children who have been deprived from the facilities. Try to understand once again. Unprivileged means the children who have been deprived, who have not been supplied the sufficient the requirements which is needed by them in the schools. Malnourished, and these children are malnourished means have not the good physical health, and there are no arrangement for their upliftment of their nourishment. So these two things have been raised in this poem. The poem deals with the unprivileged children and their physical conditions. Next, general point of the poem is the capitalistic government is supposed to supply. Which capitalistic government? American government. This poem has been taken from the one of the school of the slum area of the America, and Stephen Spender, being a very political critic, he has raised his issue on the deeds and the efforts done by the government. So he has raised this question before the capitalistic government, and he hope from them. They are supposed to supply equal opportunity for education, but the classroom in the slum offers little hope for change or progress for its lower class students. So we will see one by one which progress has not been done, which are the facilities have not been provided to them. Written during the civil rights movement in USA. It was written during the civil right. It led in America during 1866 to 1868. Comments on race issues in American education. They are not giving importance to the unprivileged children, their nourishment and other things. It is against capitalism and social justice. Yes, this is also injustice before them, to them, as they have not been taken in the mainstream and nothing is being done by the government. And poem is universal. If we go through the poem, we find place has not been mentioned, country has not been mentioned, location has not been mentioned, race has not been mentioned, citizenship of any country has not been mentioned. So this poem has an universal appeal to the children who are unprivileged. Spender wanted to shed light on social injustice worldwide. He wanted to raise his voice against the social injustice. In the manner the social injustice is being done has been highlighted in this poem. If we go to the general theme of the poem, we will find Stephen Spender highlights the plight of slum children by using vivid images and apt words to picture a classroom in a slum. Through this, he touches in a subtle manner the themes of social justice and which are required by them. If we go through the poem, the first stanza of the poem, the first line of the poem, far, far from gusty waves. These children's faces, like rootless weeds, the hair torn around their pallor. When we see how are they unprivileged, how are their nourishment conditions. So see, the line should state the children's faces are far removed from looking like gusty waves. Far, far from gusty waves. Gusty waves are the emotions, the feelings of happiness, but they are away from the happiness. There is no happiness on their faces. They are far away from. It seems that they have faded their happiness. Shows brightness, verse, and animation. If we go through the word dictionary, it is missing from the slum children's faces. Second is far, far from gusty waves, the children's faces, like rootless weeds. Weeds are the unwanted plants which grow along with the crop, which is wanted one. So these are growing like rootless weeds. Rootless weeds, the weeds which grow in the fields, and they are unrooted by the farmers. So it has been compared, okay, by using figurative word far, far, as you know, already know, repetition, far, far, from gusty waves. Gusty waves have been compared metaphorically with the happiness, the children's faces. So the faces of the children have been compared from the rootless weeds. Like word has been used, so that's why simile. The hair torn around their pallor. How are their hair? Their hair had not been groomed, their hair are untorn, and their faces are pallor. Pallor means the pale faces. So this is the condition of their faces, their hair, and they have not been well groomed as they are sitting in the classroom. Simile is like rootless weeds. Weeds show the children are unwanted. Rootless shows they belong nowhere, means no one is responsible to take their responsibility, as they are unwanted because no one is there to take care of them. The slum children are like rootless weeds. As I have told you, they are unwanted. Unwanted by society and not belonging to society means that it seems that as they have been uncared and no one is there to take care of them. Far, far from gusty waves, these children's faces like rootless weeds, the hair torn around their pallor. Torn, uncombed hair, ungroomed hair. Pallor, pale faces. So, how are their faces? Pale faces. How are their hair? Uncombed hair, ungroomed hair. And they are far, far from gusty waves. They are far from happiness. There are no smile on their faces. There are no warmness on their faces. Their uncombed hair fall on their pale faces. A few of the slum children are being described. The tall girl. Some examples of the children have been taken. The tall girl with